Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Evil Click Once, that is Backdooring Legit .NET Application for Initial Access. I'm Nandini Bharadwaj, the operating officer at CW Labs, and I'm very excited to have you all with here us today. So let's begin. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to give a little intro about our company, that is CW Labs. So our company is committed to addressing cybersecurity challenges with real-time hands-on solution. Our virtual platform allow user to refine their skills through plug-and-play practical labs and a diverse range of certification courses. So our company has two main division, that is Cyber Range Labs, and the second one is upskilling platform. So the Cyber Range Lab, that is the first division of our company. This division focuses on providing practical real-time solution to cybersecurity challenges. They offer a virtual platform where user can engage in hands-on training through practical labs that are ready to use. And the second one is upscaling platform that CW Labs offer a wide range of on-demand courses designed for individual at all skills level. Their instructor-led training services are available to educational institute, government agencies, and corporate organizations, both online and offline training options. And here you can see this is our structure of CW Labs that contains of blue team, purple team, and red team, and all the major cloud vendors, that is AWS, Azure, and GCP. So let's move to our next slide. Okay, so before we dive into the main topic, let's introduce our speakers of today's webinar, that is Yash Bharadwaj. He is a co-founder and technical architect at CW Labs. With over 5.5 years of experience, he specializes in offensive engagements, including building red team and blue team, infrastructure, evading AVs and EDRs, and exploiting Active Directory, inflating enterprise network, and conducting multi-cloud attacks. Yash has delivered trainings, talks, and workshops at conferences and platforms like NullCon, ZeefCon, NordSAC, CISO platform, and YesCon. You can connect him or reach out to him on Twitter. His @ is Top Yash. So if you have any question related to any topic or this webinar, you can just feel free to ask at the end of the webinar, and you can type them into the question box in the GoToWebinar text box. Also, we will be providing you the attendance certificate and the download material of this within 48 hours and video recording for the same. So, like, without further ado, I would like Yash to take over and let's get started. So, thank you all. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I hope you will all enjoy it. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible, Nandini?
Yeah, you are audible, but your voice is like,
Okay. So is it good now?
yeah, it's good.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So yeah, hi all. Welcome to today's webinar where we will be talking about the ClickOnce recently introduced initial access methodology. So we have been deploying this method in our lab as well as for various simulation that we have built in the lab architecture, as well as in some of the engagements that we have done recently. So today's agenda will majorly be focused on the current initial access security controls. So we will be looking at the overview of how the current security controls look like in the recent architecture, how the organization have deployed these controls in their own infra. So we will be quickly looking into that. Then about today's topic, the hot topic, that is the ClickOnce. So we will be introducing about what it is. It's not something that is a very new kind of concept, but based on various research that has been publicly available by various security researchers. So things have been added in synergy with this topic. Okay, so there are a lot of things to cover for this day, and a lot of internals to deep dive into as well. Then we will see how we will be backdooring Legit ClickOnce application that we have found out in the wild. So we will be looking into that as well. Then regenerating signatures, like once we have modified the third party trusted application, how we will be regenerating the signatures and making sure that it works as is without breaking the functionality of the application of the legit one. Then we will, in the lab environment that we have, we will try to deliver this application over web and try to deploy it and see how the thing looks like, how from the red team perspective, how it looks like, as well as from the blue team perspective, how it can be detected or what all measures can be put in there to for the prevention. Then we will have the key takeaways, like if you are already performing some sort of engagements or want to assess the employees of any organization, like have their phishing competency test, something like this. So how this particular exercise will be beneficial for you as of now, and at the end thinking mood. So before starting with the agenda and the topic, whatever questions you have, make sure that you can just type it out in the question box. All of you can see in this GoToWebinar application. So you will find that thing in there. Okay, so whatever questions there are, feel free to drop in there. Also, we will have a quick 5 to 10 minute question answer session at the very end, once as soon as I finish all the things, and I will try to clear it out. Okay, so thank you for joining the session. Let's quickly start. So let's look at how the current or the existing security control architecture looks like. And this is just a kind of very high level overview of the things. So as you can see that it's, as of now, it's divided in two kind of phases. One is the external infra, where the attacker has placed their own infrastructure, their own network, and then the second is corporate infrastructure. So red team has deployed its own kind of capabilities, like C2 servers, redirectors, or payload server. So it's all on the attacker network side. And then on the corporate infrastructure, how the companies have been placing these controls are also there. So we have seen this DNS-based defenses, or for example, there are various vendors out there. One of them is Akamai. So that is one of the thing, or one of the control that is there. So what is the purpose of this DNS-based defense? Its purpose is it will check the external domain reputation. Okay, whatever website or domain the end user is accessing, it has to be going through this whole channel, and it will verify the reputation of that. So any of the website which has low reputation or which has been identified as malicious based on various threat intel fields, etc. So the request will automatically be blocked, or there has to be a kind of error page that will be shown to the end user. So this is one of the very common DNS-based defense that is deployed across organization. So one of the example is like the Meta, they use the services of Akamai for this DNS based parts. for any kind of DNS and this secure DNS kind of concept. So it has been in there with the Akamai. So we have seen this vendor deployed a lot in these scenarios. Now the second is any email-based security emulator or scanner are there. One of the example is Microsoft Defender for Office 365. So it is there as well. So let's say if the red team strategy is, let's say that they are sending across any malicious attachments, or let's say any malicious links to the end user or to the internal environment, it has to be gone through this control, that is MDO 365. So it performs various level of checks, and it has inbuilt a lot of controls in it. For example, emulators and various scanners are there, right? So like if there is any attachment, it is a high chance that it will, if it is not encrypted, if it is not well vetted, it will obviously be get picked up by these emulators, gets emulated in the environment, in a sandbox environment, and then whatever behavior it is having, so it will be all emulating in the sandbox environment. So things like this will be in the email-based security emulator and scanner. Now, the very last one that will be reaching the traffic is the web proxy, and one of the example is Palo Alto. So it analyzes the MIME type, etc., like what is the file type and what is actually flowing through this particular control. So that is one case. And at the very end, then there are users or networks or various departments which have their own security control deployed, host-based, for example, EDRs or various antiviruses, right? So all of them are deployed there. So this is the current scenario of the initial access controls that are deployed, right? So other than that, there can be various IDS, IPS, right? A lot of controls will be placed in the initial access part. So the thing is that for the red team, it is difficult nowadays to rely on the traditional techniques that were previously working. So they had to have or find a very interesting way or a kind of robust way in order to get access to the internal environment. Now there are plenty of ways or handful ways of doing that, and one of this is revived again with the new research that the researchers have done, and this is of the ClickOnce. It's, as I have already told you, that it is not a very new or a very recent kind of technique that is there. It's just a way how we are weaponizing this technique in a new way or in a modern way is what this technique makes stand out in terms of the recent ones that are currently ongoing, right? So there were a lot of restrictions placed by MS as well. For example, mark of the web, MODW, like anything that is coming from internet will automatically be blocked, and the file type is blocked. It will be opened in kind of a restricted environment. So a lot of things are there. Now let's see how we can move with this particular TTP that we will be learning today, that is of this ClickOnce application. So what is ClickOnce application? If anyone of you have known this for a while or have gone through this whole topic previously, very good for you. But those of you who don't have any understanding of this thing, so it's a technology that was developed by Microsoft, and it basically simplifies the deployment and updating of Windows-based application over the internet, right? So it was invented to deploy the things over one channel. There has to be a kind of one file format other than EXEs, other than MSIs, that can be securely deployed over web in a manner that nothing is impacted, right? So that was how it was meant to be created, and that was the main application of this particular technique, right? Like how to install anything in a manner that all of the things comes in a package, and it is a, let's say, a very small binary which will fetch all like the applications that are required, or the third, or the other dependencies that are there into the location. So that is the ClickOnce application. So it enables developer to publish and distribute applications without requiring complex installation procedures, right? So it's just like, couple or more than couple of clicks that are required, and it is installable over the web. So that is the major benefit of this particular technique. Later, it also become how we will be distributing this thing in a malicious manner. So that is also a kind of con of this. Downloading this application. So there are the things. Now the ClickOnce application, it includes all the dependencies and libraries within a single package. So there is a single package, and then all the things that are required by the application to perfectly run in a Windows environment. So all the things are already written in the structure. So we will also analyze and see the structure, how this ClickOnce looks like. We can modify the dependencies and even backdoor the application for initial access purpose. So let's see the procedure. Okay, so as soon as you will understand and see how this application structure looks like, so you will identify that there are more than a couple of things that needs to be taken care of in this particular part. So first of all, let's view how this exact thing looks like. So as of now, I am currently in the web in my lab environment. So let me just give you a kind of quick overview of how my lab environment looks like. So this is my VM where I will be testing and backdooring the .NET application here. This is my VM for that, and all the payloads and all the things we will be deploying in here. So this is a, let's say, a Maldev machine in here. Now this is my another attacker machine. It's a Parrot operating system. So here I will be hosting the payloads for the delivery. So application, once our payload is backdoored and is built successfully, we will be hosting it over here. Now the other thing is my C2. So I have also set up a C2 Mythic C2 in one of the cloud. So it is also running, and I have actually created this tunnel to access this particular C2 in here, right? So I'm able to run this particular thing locally because of the port forwarding technique in here. So this is how very clean and very simple setup looks like for this. So the main legwork that we need to do is on the understanding the structure plus identifying how we will be backdooring this existing .NET application, right? So we will be seeing the things in here. So okay, let me go to my developer machine, and let me show you how the thing look like. Okay, so I will quickly go to this one, and this is how the ClickOnce application look like, right? It has this dot application kind of extension, right? And it's a kind of an application manifest. So when I say manifest, that means that there are a lot of internal details that are written inside it. So if you want to look at the code inside this application, you will find that all the dependencies that are required to download, everything will be placed inside this application, right? So it's a kind of XML file, and a lot of things are present inside this, like from which location our application will be hosted on, and from where it will be deploying all the stuff, right? So as of now, we have used this Legit application called MacTech. We have found this that they were distributing their application with this kind of setup, with the ClickOnce kind of setup. So this is a very legit application of the MacTag. Okay, so this is how a very clean structure of this ClickOnce application look like, and we can easily host this thing anywhere. So as of now, it is hosted, let's say, on the Legit server, right? So where we will be deploying things. So So this is the thing. Now the second folder is this one. So whatever user you are logged in with currently, as of now I'm logged in with this Hilltops user. So inside app data, local apps 2.0. So whatever ClickOnce application you will be installing, it will be installed in this particular directory, right? So as you can see, as of now, the folder is empty. As soon as I install this application, keep a note that this is a legit application. As soon as this is installed, it will be reflected in here, right? So that is the thing. Now also to show you how the application actually make requests to the backend, I will be opening this Fiddler. So Fiddler is just a kind of network capture kind of a thing. Yeah, so it will just capture all the requests that is coming from my any of the application from this machine, and it will be reflected in here. Okay, so that is the case for that particular part. So okay, let me quickly run this particular application, and you will see a lot of requests that will be going and coming and will be captured by this Fiddler. So let me run this. Okay, so as you can see, do you want to install this application? The name is MacTech. Okay, it's coming from here, and it is actually verified. You can see the publisher is verified. Okay, and it will provide you this kind of information that as of now installation, what is the kind of location where it will be installing, like installation will be installed in your local computer, something like this. So it's kind of a warning thing. Then if it provides high level of access after the installation, it will be a machine access. And if everything looks good, it is from a verified publisher, do not ask for a lot of permission. So it will be in a kind of green tech kind of format, right? So as you can see, as soon as I click on install, there will be a lot of requests going to this location, rs.magnesa.net, where all the supported files are hosted, okay, for this application. So let me install this, and you will find that a lot of files are getting downloaded as soon as the operation is executing. And once it is done, you will find that this is how the application looks like. Okay, this is just a MacTech Reader configuration login, and this is a legit application that we have downloaded from the website. Okay, so that is the thing, and that's how it looks like. So as you can see that these are all the files, and you can also view at the extension here as well, like .deploy is there for all the supporting files, and have a note of the location from where it is downloading. Okay, so as of now it is hosted in the web server of their own, rs.magnesa.net on port 443, and this is the location where all these deploy files are there. Now, these deploy files are the supporting or the dependencies that will be required in order to run this application, right? So if you want to see where all these files are present in this machine, since this application is already installed, you need to go to this 2.0 folder which we were viewing previously. Okay, if you go to these random files folder name, and in the very end, you will find that all the DLLs, everything is present here. Okay, so you can also check the name as well if you want. Okay, so you can just see what the things are. The only difference is that as of now, it's when it was fetching from the web application, it has this extension .deploy, and once it is already installed, you can see that it doesn't come with the .deploy kind of extension. So it's already there in this case. So if you want to look at this, like mtscrnet.dll, okay, let's just take an example of this. So this one as well as this one. So this has the extension .deploy because during the installation it is required, and right after the application install, it will be in this particular format, right? So this is the case. Basically, as soon as you install this application, this is how the things are. Now, what we have done, I will be going going through the section step by step. Okay, so let me close all the things first. Okay, so let me open that particular binary where it is installed. Okay, so as of now, you can see that it is installed in this 2.2 folder, okay, that we have already seen. So let's decompile this application. So this is the reader configuration.exe. This is the actual application that is installed in this machine. So let me open this and decompile this using this DNS file. Okay, so using DNS-Spy, it is actually used to decompile the .NET applications, and we can view the code through which it was created, or the code that was required in order to have this thing there. So this is the supporting file. You can see, okay, the PE and all the what all things are already present inside this. So all these are the required things, right, in order to run this particular one. Now, if you look at the references here, okay, so these are all the supporting libraries that are required in order to run this particular application, right? So, like on the first go, we cannot see, we cannot identify this, but as soon as we go to the DNS file and input that particular executable, we can see that these are all the supporting files or the libraries, or let's say the dependencies that are required by this application at runtime. Okay, so ms corm lib, empty lib, all these are the DLL files that are either downloaded during the installation or are already present in the system32 folder or in the other location locally. Okay, so that's how the applications are generally created. Okay, so they either use the already present libraries based on their functionality, or they download external libraries uh, because of any new feature addition, or it can be anything, right? So here you can see that all these are the libraries that are present here. Okay. Now, if you carefully look in here, like across all the libraries that are present, some of them have this public key token as null. Other have this as some random value is present here. Okay, some of the random values present here. You can all of you can see in this case. So we can also say that like the files that are already present in this system have this public key token, because ms-con lib and like the system, or these all these classes or libraries are already present in this machine. That's why they have this public key token, but these are the external downloaded libraries by this application, and it has this public key token as null. Okay, so as of now, we just understand to this level. There are more addition into this, which we will understand as soon as we deep dive into the concept. Okay, so just make sure that you are understanding the flow as well as the things in this particular case. So, so that is the case. Now, if you look carefully, you can go to this, if you want to go into the internals, like how the actual application is coded, or how the developer have created and gone through the steps, you can go through each of them and then find the things. So as of now, I will not be going into the details, but you can see that inside this VLL, right? This is one of the classes, I can say, inside this. And then there are a lot of functions right here. You can see authenticate, close device, detect device. So all these are the functions, and these function corresponds to the buttons that are present, right? So if, let's say, if I run this particular application, this reader configuration, okay, so you can see all these buttons, right? Use public account, then OK, then cancel. Okay. As soon as I click on this use public account, there will be another thing that is open. So all these functions that you view in here, indicate, SCRAR, this one, detect device, so all of these basically is making this application functional. Okay. That is what is going in the backend. That is the bottom line that you can understand, right? So that is the thing in this particular case. So what we have used There is one question. Can you please share the GitHub and resources? Yes, we will. Okay, like the resources will be available on our website. We will let you know. Okay. So the thing that we were discussing then this that all the applications or the all the functions that are present in here is making this application functional, right? So all the buttons in here, all the functionalities in here is what is present inside this as well, right? So this is as soon as you run this, this is how you will find, and the functionality that is added, that you will experience in the graphical is happening actually in the backend, right? So that is the thing. Now, in our case scenario or in our specific case, what we have done is we have actually backdoored this detect device particular function. Okay, so I will let you know how we have done that and what all things are were required in order to have this thing. So is device connected? Okay, so this is one of the function that is present here, and as you can see that this is the dead end. There is nothing after that. So we have actually backdoored this function which is called is device connected. Okay, so as of now this is a very clean installation of what you are seeing right now. It's directly downloaded and then decompiled and is visible after you. Okay, this is what how it looks like. So we have actually gone through each and every steps, make sure, and we had made sure that the application do not break its functionality, also execute our code as well. Okay, so for this particular case, we have actually backdoored this is device connected particular function. Okay, just keep a note of this, or just remember this particular function is device connect. So what I will do right now is I will close this like the DNS file decompilation and let you focus on the one specific DLL, that is mtscra.dll. So if you recall, this is the DLL which has the public key token as null, and this is what we have chosen to actually backdoor this. Okay, so this is this DLL we will be backdooring, and if you want to remember, you can see that the legit DLL size is around 26 KB. Okay, and after some modification that we have done after the compilation, and then when we have modified added our code, it has been added to one more KB, that will be 27 KB. So I will just let you know how the things look like. Okay, so if we go in this directory patch in the application, and you can see that what all the deploy requests that you have seen previously, we have actually gone through each and every of the URL and downloaded these files in the directory structure that has to be followed when any application installed. Okay, so this is the .deploy files that you are viewing here is what I have added, or what we have backdoored in this case. So you can see mtscra net.dll.deploy. Okay, this is the size is around 27 KB. So I will be just copying this. Okay, and I will be modifying the extension to .dll only. Okay, you can see if the extension is changed, it will become unusable. It's fine. So now I will just move it in place of this, right? So as of now, you can just see that the size is 26 KB now, and as soon as I replace this file destination, it will be around 27 KB. Okay. Now, what is the backdoor that we have added in there? You will find in this particular section. So what I will do, I will first go to this exe, drop this in the DNS file, and see the decompile.net functionality that is present in the application. Okay, so this is the decompiled version of this. I will expand this quickly. Go to the reader configuration and then the BLL. Okay, this one. Now recall that the recent function that we had backdoored will be viewed from here. If we go to detect, this detect device, if we click here, If we go to this is device connected. So this is what we have backdoored. Okay, I will just click on this one more time. It will just follow the next function. And here, if you see, this is the backdoor, .NET one that we have added. Okay, so let me go to this as well, my backdoor, and do magic. Okay, so this is the one. So what we are actually doing here is the do magic is just a function. Okay, we have added as per the functionality, as per the compatibility of this application, so that the functionality do not break. So it is just starting a new thread, and this exec assembly is another function that we have defined in here. You can see exec assembly. Now it is running a mutex run once, okay, then write global map. So this is another function, and this is one of our another research that we have done so far for the MC bypass, for the recent MC bypass, and not the traditional one with the patching of the specific codes, OP codes. This is something new that we have done so far for the MC bypass. I will not be diving deep into this because this is not for the recent MC bypass that we have discovered. You will find this research in our blog for the MC bypass. Okay, so this is for that. But what is the exact code or the backdoor code is doing in here? It is first bypassing the security control, that is MC, that might trigger as soon as we run this application, okay, or any user run this application. So the thing is that first the MZ will be bypassed, and then from this location where our generated payload from Mythic is present, I have generated a payload from the Mythic. Okay, I have downloaded and placed in my payload server. Okay, in this place, so you can see apollo.exe is present here, right? So I have just downloaded and placed the URL of from where it will be downloading, and I have made sure that the functionality will not break. Okay, of this. If you want to go and run this or decompile this or debug this, you can do that as well. Okay, and you can, if you want, you can start with the debugger as well, like the 3264 debugger, and then analyze and see the things that is placed in there. So if you want to edit this particular URL, you can just go and go to the edit IL instruction, intermediate language instruction, and you can quickly edit the IP address or the payload server URL in this case. So as of now, it's already accessible. This is the IP, this local IP that you are viewing in this case is my payload server IP. Okay, this one. So as soon as this application is run, it will be making the connection back to the POS or this payload server, downloading this apollo.exe in memory, executing it, and we will be having then a kind of a connection here. Okay, as of now, our callback in the Mythic C2 here. So that is what will be the flow. Now, this is what we have done so far. Okay, as you can see, we have just backdoored it. As soon as you will backdoor it, you just need to save it once. Okay, and then that will be all. That is the thing that you need to do. Okay. Now, if you look for this for the ClickOnce application, there are a couple of things that needs to be added or modified so that the application do not break. So the one thing is this manifest file. Okay, so if you look into this manifest file, I will go to the patch one and show you things. So if you look at this manifest file, this will contain all the information about the files, the hashes, all the signatures that are there, right? So that is the case. Now the exact DLL that we have modified is MTSCRA MTS. Yeah. So this one, you can see this empty scra.net is the exact DLL that we have modified, right? So this is the base64 hash that we need to change. Okay. So since I have already done the change stuff, and how you will be doing this is via this particular one. Okay, right? So the mstrl, this is the exact file URL, or not the URL, but the file name. So as soon as you execute this, actually as of now the file is not present, but if you look in the present output, you will find a hash in there, right? So that hash needs to be updated in this particular case so that the things work. So this is one thing, right? And that is the only thing that you need to do in the manifest. Whatever backdoor file that we have, we just need to calculate the base64 hash using this particular command, this one using this OpenSSL, and we need to place that hash in this particular, or that digest value in this specific case, right? So that is the one thing that we need to do. And the other thing is that we have to modify is this public key token. If you recall, the public key token was null previously, so we have to make sure that it follows the 16 zeros in here. So that is how the number of zeros or the bits of this public key token is, right? So this is only the two minor modification we need to do in the manifest file. So that is the one thing, right? And the very last thing that you need to do is go to the dot application file, which actually will be executing. Open this in code, and since you all have modified the manifest file as well, we need to calculate the digest value again for the manifest file and place it in here. Okay, so same like how we have calculated the digest of, or the base64 hash of this particular file, we need to change the, or have these have the base64 hash of this reader configuration or manifest file, right? So we just need to modify and place the things in here, in this particular place, right? Using the same command. Okay. Now, once you have modified or added the digest value in here, you also need to change this particular address where your application will be downloaded from, right? Or all the supporting files will be present. So in this particular case, I have actually used the payload server URL. So in my case, it's the POS URL where this will actually be hosted, right? So now once it is done, we don't need to do anything. We just need to make sure that all the things are already compiled, and we just paste all the files in here, right? So I will quickly go and install the previously installed application, uninstall the previous installed application. I will remove this and make sure that nothing is as of now present. Okay, so let's see the flow, how the flow will be. Okay, I will also go through the steps one more time so that you understand about the things and about the flow as well. So as you can see, as of now, we don't have any callback. There is the placement of the exact application and the things that we have modified. All the things are in this location, right? So let's say this is the place where we will be deploying all the things. Okay, so these are the three things. Apollo.exe is the payload. Application file actually contains the dependencies, and this is the thing that the end user will be clicking, or this is the end product that the end user will be clicking in this particular case. Okay, so let me run this like this. Okay, I've just hosted in here. We'll go in this case, and okay, so this is how the things will be. Now you can have a very fancy looking website, which will be a kind of a decoy website in here. And let's say you place this particular URL to that particular location. Okay, so whatever you want to download, or whatever you want to you want the user to go, or to navigate, you can put this particular URL in there. Now, as soon as this particular thing is clicked, we will just open it. Now here you will find these things in place. So the one thing is the publisher is unknown. So this technique is heavily useful if you have your digital signature, your digital certificate with you. We can use that certificate to actually sign this application and distribute it with the candidates or with the persons you are testing against with. Okay, so that is the case. And here this is the URL from where it is downloading currently. Okay, so you can see this is the URL of the POS, like this in this case here. So here, as soon as I click on install, you will find that it will be installing, and then as soon as I install, it will run and you will find all the details in here. So as of now, there is nothing malicious that has happened. But since this is a backdoored one or a kind of a backdoored application, see the functionality is running as is. It has not changed to the extent that something major has been seen to the end user or to the client end. Nothing is there. You can also see that there is no, as of now, so kind of any callbacks or anything in there, nothing. But as soon as I click on this use public account particular button, and since this is based on the reversing kind of scenario, that is what we have actually backdoor, you will find that there is one URL that will be making connection to here of the apollo.exe, right? So as soon as I click here, you can see that the application is gone. And here there is a one request, okay, apollo.exe. And if we go to this upper myfixie2, we just need to wait and we have our active fallback, right? So the application is running as you can see. The application is running how it is expected to run, right? And even if there are defenses in place, let's say these the Microsoft MS Defender itself. So it has a capability to bypass it because we have the identity MC bypass in there, so it will not scan further because it will always result for clean if the application is clean. So that is the best case scenario for this, right? So the application you can see it is running as is, and there is no difficulty or no kind of change in the functionality. It is running as is, and also we have our own stable shell like here. Okay. So we can interact with that shell or with the agent that we have deployed. It is already running, and we can see the details or the outputs that will be communicating in here. Right, so that is the very interesting case of this ClickOnce. Now it works heavily, it works very still when we have the digital certificate with us, right? If we are able to find this third-party application with our own kind of certificate, it will be a very interesting chain to look when anyone actually want to perform assessment against a very hardened environment, not just a normal environment, against a very hardened environment. So that is the case. Now you can see that the output is here as well. Okay, so the output is there. That means the connection is stable, and the application is also running as is without breaking the functionality. Okay, so this is the last request that we got from this application. So that is the case for this particular part. Now let's go to the next steps. You will find all the things in there. Just a second. So you will find all the details in the slides here. You can go through this because of the timing and the other things. We need to quickly finish off the things. But all the steps, everything you will find in the slides and will be available in our website. So as you can see, these are the steps we have followed. Now, as of now, we have already delivered it in a very raw format, right? Instead of this, we can have a very fancy website that points to this particular, because this is the only end product that we will be delivering, right? This reader configuration.application. This is the very end product. And if you follow researchers, or if you have been going through the recent case studies, you will find that this particular technique has been employed by threat actors, and they are actually using this in globally across their campaigns, whatever campaigns they're running. So they are actually using this particular kind of ClickOnce weaponization for now, right? Because this is very stable and provides a very interesting insight and overview of this particular part. Now, the very interesting thing is that it is not limited to a specific application. There are a lot of applications that you can find via Google Docking. You can download them. You can then backdoor them and then distribute it to your clients you are testing against, right? So that is the beauty of this particular thing. It is not even limited to that, okay, to a let's say a specific thing. So the one application that we have used is of a third-party application, and that is a legit one that was used to perform some legit operation. So we have actually modified the code a bit and then used it as a kind of a backdoor, and then deployed it in the lab and then distributing it to the users. So this is the very beauty of this particular attack. So let me finish off quickly with the key takeaways. So we have understood the methodology to backdoor a legit .NET application, right? That's what we have done. Works like a charm with digital certificate for signing the application. So let's say if the red team is in possession with a digital certificate, and they generally have, because they have like the professional red teams we know, they generally have this their own certificate which they maintain for signing their their applications, or their backdoors or their implants, etc. So that is there. So it's a new way to test your internal team phishing competency. So if you want to run a phishing test against them, and that has to be a very advanced one, so that the end users or the client do not actually fall into the trap and become the prey. So you can test it out against your against your company employees if you want to run this phishing test anytime soon, and it can be made sophisticated with an already compromised website for the ClickOnce delivery. So in a scenario when when the website is already compromised, and that website can be used to deliver these malwares in a very stealth way, right? So things can be made sophisticated with the scenarios, right? Whatever scenarios there are. So there is one reference. So Nick Powers and Stephen Flores from SpectreOps have actually come up with this new weaponization technique. We have actually took the methodology from here, from this particular research that they have come up with of the backdooring .NET application. So we have modified it a bit as per our own scenario, as per our own requirement, and then we have published it as this particular kind of a concept. So that is how the things looks like. So I think there are various questions that are in place as of now. So Muhammad Tawfiq is asking, hello, what is the extension format DLL it is used for? So see, in the scenario that we have seen, .deploy extension is used when the application is installing, right? During the installation process. Once these dependencies are installed, it will be present as a .dll format, right? So you have seen before installation, very clean with the clean setup. It was a .deploy, and once the application installed, it will become the .dll. So that is the case. Now another question is what is the folder file tree repository adapted for this demo project app? So as I have already told you that this is the legit application that we have used for this particular concept. So that is the thing for this particular part. right? So we have not created this project, the application is of someone who are actually using or delivering this over this ClickOnce kind of utility. We have actually modified a bit, so we have not developed that application, that micro application there. So yeah, that is the case in this particular part. What is the development architecture adapted for this demo? So same thing. Okay, that's what I have just told you for the part. Yeah. So the last thing is that we have covered this in more detail, and if you want to learn these kind of techniques and the recent initial access as well as the initial kind of compromise or the malware development kind of exercises, and a lot of interesting things for the steel cyber operations, you can enroll and go for this particular training, that is steel cyber operator, CSCO. This is the link to that particular training that we organize. So the best thing is that it is on demand as well. That is, since we have already run this training successfully for a couple of times, you will find the videos already present in the portal, in our Cyber Warfare Labs portal, and you can view it as many as times you want. Now, as soon as we organize or as soon as we schedule the next batch, you will get notified and you can enroll or you can just sit on it, right? So there are no limitations on how many times you will actually be, sitting on the trainings, okay, live. So it's actually up to you. Now the other thing that we are providing is a 30-day practice lab. So it's already included in the package. So if you want to go with this part as well in with the practice lab, so we have a very interesting cyber range lab that we have developed for this, and we have actually developed various EDR simulations as well. So if you want to actually upskill your malware development skill or want to start in this particular domain, you can go for this particular training, have a look into the things, and then ask any doubts or any questions you have based on the topics that we have covered. So there are a lot of interesting initial access exercises. There are a lot of malware development exercises from scratch, from the very basic to the intermediate level, and various CDR or the antivirus bypasses techniques that we have covered in the end, right? So that is the case. So if you want to try it out, feel free to do that. We are also offering 25% discount as of now. So if you want, you can check, go to this link, or like go through the website as well. So that is the case, and I will be just sending this to all. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being present here. Though it's a very short and a very simple session, but I hope that this particular technique and the internals that we have provided will be helpful to you, and will be helpful to you in your learning journey, or whatever phase you are in. Even if you are a red teamer or a pen tester who want to deploy this technique or learn from this kind of technique, feel free to do that. We will be open sourcing this kind of setup in our lab as well, right? So you will in our website. So you will find all the details there in this case, in the things. And the best thing is that we will be providing technical supports if you enroll in the training or in any of our offerings. So we are providing these stuff. And for any sort of professional red team, purple team labs and technical training services, please email this particular one. Now question time. If anyone have any questions, feel free to let me know right now so that we can answer the things, and hope you enjoyed this part. Yes, regarding the certificate, so there is one question regarding the certificate. So we will be sending like this certificate to you over email, right? Within 48 hours, I think, within a couple of days. So you will be awarded with the certificate, with the attendance certificate for this training. So that is the thing, and the recording will be published over our YouTube channel, and the link will be shared with you all in the email, or if you visit our website, so you can see that the link there as well. So that is the thing. So yeah, hope you, yeah, thank you for this warm feedback. I also enjoyed this quick webinar that we have come up. We will actually be doing this kind of concept again and again, these webinars, that people get to know about the advanced research that we're doing, as well as, we also learn from the things that you guys will share in the comments, or any interesting thing that you will find and you also learn. So it's all mutual. Yeah. So yeah, I think if there are any other questions on this, please let me know. So yeah, I think there are, if there are no questions, I think uh, we can end this particular session, and feel free to reach out to me, okay, in case there is anything. So we will then, clear the things out. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all, and thank you for this, for attending and for coming and for taking some time out to be here, to present here. That means a lot, and we will be organizing this kind of concept, or this kind of webinar again. So thank you and have a good day. If there are any questions, feel free to let us know. Thank you, and have a good day ahead. Thanks a lot.